Shalom, shalom. Yeah, my hair's a little crazy today. You're not gonna have to deal with it, but we're gonna keep reading anyway. All right, so this next passage is very, very important because in Micah chapter 6, what happens is the Most High Himself said to remember this specific event and what He says in it. So we're gonna read it. And then he says, as you return to remember what the Most High says, and what this individual says at the end, what his advisement was. So let's get started. Numbers chapter 22. And the children of Israel journeyed and encamped in the plains of Moab, near the passage of the Jordan toward Jericho. And Balak, Bar Zippor, saw what Israel had done to the Amorite and the Moabite, and the Moabite feared before the people greatly, because they were many, and they were distressed in their life before the sons of Israel. And they said to the elders of the Midiani, for the people had been one, and the kingdom one unto that day. Now will this congregation consume all that is about them? And the ox eateth up the grass of the field. And Balak Bar Zippor, a Midianite, was the king of Moab at that time, without a Midianite being such at another time. For so was the tradition among them, to have kings from this people and from that by turns. So they had elections. So elections for the king is not a new concept. All right. So they had this at the Exodus. This is what the Midianites did. And he sent unto Laban the Amorite, who was Bileam, so called because he it was who sought Bilhah to swallow up Ammon, the people of the house of Israel, the son of Beor. So Ammon is called Beor, the son of Beor. So Bilhah, who was insane from the vastness of his knowledge. So he was crazy. And would not spare Israel, the descendants of his sons and daughters, and the house of his habitation in Padan was Pethor, a name signifying an interpreter of dreams. It was built in Aram upon Phrat, in a land where the children of the people worshiped and adored him. To him did Balak send, to call him, saying, behold, the people have come out of Mitzrayim, and lo, they cover the face of the earth, and are encamped over against me. But now I entreat, come, curse this people for me, for they are stronger than I. If I may but be able to meet them, though smaller than they, and drive them from the land, for I know that he whom thou dost bless is blessed, and he whom thou dost curse is cursed. And the elders of Moab and of Midian went, with the price of divination sealed up in their hands, and came to Bileam, and told him the words of Balak. So they went to Bileam, who was Ammon. All right, that was his actual name, but they called him Bileam. So this is Balak the king, sending for the man with all the knowledge and the interpreter of dreams. You know, here we go. And he said to them, abide here tonight, and I will return you word as Yahweh speaks with me. And the princes of Moab stayed with Bileam. And the word from before Yahweh came to Bileam, and he said, what men are these who are now lodging with thee? So I know y'all sitting here and y'all got a question, right? Like, how does this guy, is the Most High speaking to him? Well, the Adamites are Shemitic, so they are the children of Shem. All right, so you get that back in Genesis. So the Most High is talking to now a descendant from Shem who was covenanted also to the Most High. All right, so we're gonna continue on. Yeah. And Bileam said before Yahweh, Balak Bar-Zippor, king of the Moabi, have sent messages to me, saying, Behold, a people come out of Mitzrayim and cover the face of the land. Now, therefore, come curse them for me, so that I may be able to fight and drive them away. And Yahweh said to Bileam, Thou shalt not go with them, nor curse the people, for they are blessed of me from the day of their fathers. And Bileam rose up early and said to the princes of Moab, Go into your country, for it is not pleasing before Yahweh to permit me to journey with you. And the princes of Moab arose and came to Balak and said, Bileam has refused to come with us. But Balak added to send other princes, more and nobler than they. So he sent nobler princes, So now you got regular princes, and then you got noblest. So these guys were more renowned, all right, and more of them. So if he had 5, now he sent 20 or something. Not saying that's the count, just saying, right? And they came to Bileam and said to him, Thus saith Balak Bar-Zippor, Let nothing hinder thee from coming to me. For honoring I will honor thee greatly, and whatever thou biddest me I will do. Come therefore now, and curse this people for me. And Bileam answered the servants of Balak, and said, If Balak would give me out of his treasury a house full of silver and gold, I have no power to transgress against the decree, the great of the word of the Memra, from before my God, to fabricate a word, millet, either small or great. So basically he's saying, I can't go against the Memra. I can't go against the word of the Most High. So I can't fabricate something. I ain't making stuff up. But I entreat you to remain here this night also, that I may know what the word, the Memra of Yahweh, may yet speak with me. And the word, Memra, came from before Yahweh unto Bileam in the night, and said to him, If these men come to call thee, arise and go with them. And the word, Pithgama, that I will speak with thee, thou shalt do. So now Pithgama is getting ready to come up. The word Pithgama. Now I know y'all probably don't know what that is, but in the Abrahamic covenant itself, have these words in it. Memra, Pithgama. Pithgama is the covenant of protection, where no matter how many enemies of the world rise up against you, that the Most High will protect you. His word will protect you. All right. Bileam arose in the morning and saddled his ass and went with the princes of Moab. So he went with them. But the anger of the Lord was provoked, because he would go that he might curse them. And the angel of Yahweh stood in the way to be an adversary to him. But as he sat upon his ass, 2 young men, Jannes and Jambres, were with him. And the ass discerned the angel of Yahweh standing in the way, with a drawn sword in his hand, and the ass turned aside out of the road to go into the field. And Bileam smote the ass to make her return into the way. And the angel of Yahweh stood in a narrow path that was in the midst between vineyard, in the place where Jacob and Laban raised the mound, the pillar on the side, and the observatory on that side, which they raised, that neither should pass the limit to do evil to the other. So Jacob and Laban built this as a covenant in place that uh, Laban's people and Jacob's people wouldn't do evil one to the other. And the ass discerned the angel of Yahweh, and thrust herself against the hedge, and bruised Bileam's foot by the hedge. And he smote her again, for the angel was invisible to him. And the angel of Yahweh yet passed on, and stood in a distant place, where there was no way to turn, either to the right or left. And the ass saw the angel of Yahweh, and fell under Bileam. And Bileam's wrath was strong, so that he smote the ass with his staff. So first he's riding and he's just hitting it. Then he just took his cane, his stick, and he just now he's beating it. 10 things were created after the world had been founded, at the coming in of the Sabbath between the suns: the manna, the well, the rod of Moshe, the diamond, the rainbow, the cloud of glory, the mouth of the earth, the writing of the tables of the covenant, the demons, and the speaking ass. And in that hour the word of Yahweh opened her mouth, and fitted her to speak. And she said to Bileam, What have I done to thee? Thou hast smitten me these 3 times. And Bileam said to the ass, Because thou hast been false to me, if there was now but a sword in hand, I would kill thee. And the ass said to Bileam, Woe to thee, Bileam, thou wanting in mind when me, an unclean beast, who am to die in this world, and not to enter the world to come, thou art not able to curse, how much less canst thou harm the children of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, on account of whom the world has been created, but whom thou art going to curse. So hast thou deceived these people, and hast said, This is not my ass, this is alone in my hand, and my horses remain in the pasture. But I am not thine ass, upon whom thou hast ridden from thy youth until this day? And have I been used to do thus with thee? And he said, No. Okay, so now the donkey's talking, and the donkey's got some things he wants to get off his chest. Like, yo, why you lying, man? I've been faithful to you all this time, and you talking about you got horses and all of this, and you've been riding me since you was young. And Yahweh unveiled the eyes of Bileam, and he beheld the angel of Yahweh standing in the way, sword unsheathed in his hand, and he bowed and he worshipped on his face. And the angel of the Lord said to him, Why hast thou smitten thine ass 3 times? Behold, I have come out to withstand thee. And the ass, fearing, saw and turned from the way. It is known from me that thou seekest to curse the people, a thing that is not pleasing to me. So the angel's revealed himself, told him, Hey, what you was getting ready to go through, I came to stop. That wasn't good for me. Period. I ain't with it. But the ass discerned me, and turned from me these 3 times. Had she not turned from me, surely now I would have slain thee, and spared her alive. He's like, I'd have killed you, and the donkey would have lived. And Bileam said to the angel of Yahweh, I have sinned, because I knew not that thou wast standing against me in the way. But now, if it displease thee, I will go back. But the angel of Yahweh said to Bileam, Go with these men, but the word that I will tell thee, the word I will tell thee, thou shalt speak. And Bileam went with the princes of Balak. And Balak heard that Bileam was coming, and came out to meet him at a city of Moab. on the border of Arnon, which is on the side of the frontier. And Balak said to Bileam, Did I not send to call thee? Why camest thou not to me? Didst thou not indeed say that I could not do thee honor? And Bileam said to Balak, Behold, I have come to thee, yet now am I able to seek anything to thee. But the word that Yahweh shall ordain for my mouth, that I must speak. And Bileam went with Balak, and they came to a city surrounded with walls, to the street of the great city, the city of Sihon, which is Barosha. And Balak slew oxen and sheep, and sent Bileam and the princes, and sent to Bileam and the princes and those who were with them. And at the time of the morning, Balak took Bileam and brought him up to the high place of the idol Peor, and saw from thence the camp of Dan, which went at the rear of the people, and they were discovered under the cloud of glory. And Bileam, as he looked upon them, knew that strange worship was among them, and he rejoiced in his heart, and said to Balak, Build here 7 altars, and prepare me here 7 bullocks and 7 rams. And Balak did as Bileam said, and Balak and Bileam offered a bullock and a ram upon the altar. And Bileam said to Balak, Stand by thy burnt offering, and I will go, if peradventure the word of Yahweh may come to meet me, and the word that shall be discovered to me, I will declare to thee. And he went bending as a serpent. All right, so he was happy that, he knew idolatry was in Dan at this time. So you have idolatry still amongst the children of Israel. And he was celebrating like, oh man, surely, since they still worshiping these idols, I know the Most High is going to curse these people, and I'm going to defeat them, and I get to have all the honor, the glory, the wealth, the riches that they have, and they're not going to take my stuff from me. They're not going to conquer me. And they went and they offered this burnt offering by the idol of Peor on top of a mountain. Right? So they built this, and Yahweh put a word in Bileam's mouth and said, Return to Balak and speak thus. So now Yahweh's getting ready to talk. So we're in Numbers 23, and I'm going to continue with the next video.